Evacuation, that kind of stuff. Just gets rid of that problem. Really? Brad, I'm sorry. Brad, I'm so sorry, man. What? They hit scroll down more? What? They hit illusion, removing it from existence, and then they're like, I guess illusion can be played now because Rod's no longer on the limit to this. So I guess I can play that shit talk instead about illusion. Finally! After 2.5 years, Konami finally decided it was time to free Rod and free navigation from their prison cell. So of course, I had to go get Cog with it. So here's today's deck list. Now just a reminder before getting to the deck list, if you guys are enjoying today's video and want to see more content just like this in the future, especially if you're a returning viewer, so apparently about 35% of you watching this are even subscribed to the channel, means 65% of you haven't even clicked subscribe yet. So if you guys are enjoying this content and will see more videos from me in the future or more deck lists from me in the future, remember to leave a like on this video and consider subscribing to the channel down below. Alright, let's jump to the deck list. So obviously with this deck list, there isn't exactly going to be a whole lot for me to talk about, as every card in here is ancient by now. You should all know what most of the cards in here do. If you need me to give you a rundown on what Magician's Rod does, which is a 6-year-old card in Duel Links, and God knows how old it is in the TCG by now, I'm afraid you probably are about 6 years old, so I'm not going to be giving you an actual rundown on what the cards in here do. I'm just going to talk about the general strategy of this deck list and how it differs from the more new version of Dark Magician for you guys that might not have played this variant by now. So this deck list is actually extremely different to the other variants of Dark Magician, like extremely different, because basically your entire goal is to set up the 3-card combo Dark Magician was known for before everything got banned and before the new skill got released. Basically, you just want to have a face-up circle on the field, a set navigation, and a Dark Magician in hand. That's it. You're going to be trying to set that up every single game. And obviously, because now we have 3 of your Magician's Rod, we have 3 of your Magician's Navigation, it's extremely consistent. And it's just a 3-card combo that's going to be banishing 1 card on the field. That's it. Dark Magician doesn't aim to do anything more than this. That is going to be your field. And one of the other main differences between this variant and the other variants is we cannot special summon on your first turn. This is because we have a skill called a Trick Up the Sleeve, which just basically makes it so this card is guaranteed to start in your opening hand. This is also why I'm only playing 2 of it, because you don't really need a 3rd one. Basically, the other one is just there as a second target for navigation, or maybe even another target for navigation later on if you need to use one when you draw one. Basically, you can't special summon on your first turn. And because of this, we can also play things like Plot of Duality, which can only be used when you're not special summoning during that turn. So, other great cards to boost consistency of a deck list that is already really quite consistent. And as for the rest of the deck list, obviously, it's just all Dark Magician stuff. You guys should know what these cards do by now. Probably the only other card in here that might be a little bit weird to some of you might not have seen it before, is Kycoo, which is an insane tech card for specifically Dark Magician, because as you guys probably know, Navigation can summon out a spellcaster from the deck, it can summon out the Kycoo, and Kycoo basically just says your opponent cannot banish cards from either player's graveyard. Insane against things like Orcust, insane against things like, I don't know, Phantom Knight. There are so many other decks in the game, you actually see it multiple times during the gameplay, where people just aren't able to play the game, because Kycoo is a floodgate that stops your opponent banishing things from their graveyard, so very important to have this guy in the deck list in the current meta, in my opinion. And yeah, as the rest of the deck list, just your typical Dark Magician stuff, so without further ado, let's jump into some gameplay. Alright, so my original plan for the gameplay for this video, because I thought it'd be kind of fun, is to have the 5 replays from the COG rank up. I thought that'd be kind of cool, but unfortunately, the COG replays were rather boring. This guy, I'm pretty sure, just conceded or disconnected or something, and this guy was playing, yeah, a late month deck list, okay? So it was kind of hard for me to get the 5 replays, so I just sort of grabbed 5 replays or 6 replays from the Legend 5 games, because there were a a lot of them. I didn't get Cog in my first go. I think I had 3 Cog rank ups before I actually got into Cog, so it took a little bit. I don't actually recommend this deck list if you're going for like a hard Cog grind or something. You want to get there as fast as possible. This is probably one of those deck lists you're probably only going to do it very late into a season, and it's going to take you multiple tries, because that's just how Dark Magician is. It's not a top tier deck list, it's just a deck list that, well, given enough of a grind, you could get it to Cog like I did today, so let's get into the actual replays now. Alright. So first up, now I've forgotten which replays were what here, but yeah. Alright, what do we got? Officer Tetsu Trudge. The most common character around. Alright, check out my sleeve, starting with the Dark Magician guaranteed in hand. Rod searching for the circle, of course, to set up the circle, the navigation, and there is your combo. And adding the Eternal Assault hand as well. Alright, Prophecy, gonna be grabbing a Secrets. Secrets, this is you're playing a Sartic, I'm pretty sure. This is an Asartic combo, so you want to draw some cards to try and get a hold of that one spell card, so we're just waiting for him to activate the continuous spell card, because that's all you need to banish in Asartic, and they basically can't play the game. Because even if they do summon out a bunch of things to the field, they're going to lose so much value, because they just go negative, just by themselves. It's an innate type of mechanic. Alright. Summoning the best Dark Magician animation in Duel Links. The Arcana version. You'll notice I'm playing 3 copies of this version of the Dark Magician. Alright, banishing, of course, his most important card. And now, no matter what he does, you'll notice he's going to go complete negative. Also, keep in mind, this deck list does sometimes like to banish things from its graveyard to then be able to special summon cards from hand or wherever it special summons from. Kycoo, it prevents that, so it forces him to use even more material if he wants to special summon for... I forget where it's on, it might be on the field spell. Alright, he pops my last back row. Of course, we didn't want to flip that face up or nuke our own field. So he's just going to let him summon out as much as he likes, because he's just literally negativing his own board at this point. Tries to swing in, boost my dude's attack, and yeah, he's just out of there. Alright. I need to come up with a better word than like going negative, because I don't know how to like say that without it sounding really stupid. Alright. Now this guy, I don't really know what he was doing. He had the sick turn 1 setup if he wanted it that would have prevented Dark Magician from even just trying to play the game. He's playing Rokket, obviously, and Rokket, they have a great turn 1 setup where they summon the card, the Void Ogre, that just stops like all whatever, all spell and trap cards, which Dark Magician needs to be able to function. And he should know I'm playing Dark Magician, I literally have a skill that tells him. Yeah, so I was like, oh no, he's going to set the card, he's going to sell out Void Ogre, and it's going to be over. But no, he just summoned out Evil Swarm Knightmare. Like, he could have easily just Synchro summoned here, but anyway, maybe he wanted to keep this on the field for some reason, maybe he was scared, I don't know. Anyway, this thing does nothing versus Dark Magician, I really couldn't care less about it, so I'm like, alright, cool. Pot of Duality, looking at the top 3, grabbing a card. Of course, hitting the rod, perfect. Alright, activating the circle, grabbing the navigation. Rod grabbing a card, which at this point doesn't matter, just grabbing some follow-up. Beating over his monster, and now he's passing the turn. I think he could have chained this thing to then pop something and summon a dude from the deck or whatever, but he was just like, I guess he thought I was trying to suicide this because I want to use the graveyard effect or something. I don't know why he just let me boost and beat over his monster. Maybe he didn't expect damage step or something. Either way. He then tries to cut in play. He doesn't even let me get to the banishing part. He's like, yeah, okay, I'm done. I messed up. Yes, I don't know why I even bothered including that replay. That was more my opponent being dumb than me actually doing anything, or Dark Magician doing anything. To be fair, when Dark Magician in this current state, that's probably one of their win cons. It doesn't really do much outside the 3-card combo Banish 1. I find it insane when people try to tell me that Dark Magician should have still been on the ban list with this combo. This combo is the shit. Okay, no smack talk to Dark Magician players. This combo is the shittest combo. It's barely coggable. A 3-card combo for a Banish 1. Insane. Alright. Expendable die, popping to pop my card. Kind of annoying because I don't get my search, but it's sort of fine. Now I actually have 0 disruption on the field, just have a bunch of summons. Alright, summons back, goes for his Batlamius. Having his Trevor, which puts everything back in the hand. Honestly, I probably could have activated Navigation in response to this, so I get Magician's Rod on the field and add a Rod back to hand. Maybe that would have been a play. Probably better, rather than keeping this in hand, especially considering I still have a summon in hand. I don't know. Probably was better. He makes me discard a card, getting rid of Navigation anyway. But I'm good at the game, so I just top deck a Circle, then top deck into another Navigation. Goddamn stutter. Alright, activate the Navigation. He's going to be popping the Circle so I don't get a banish off. At this point, it's probably fine. So we have the Eternal Soul to protect the 2 monsters on the field from whatever that back row is. So as long as he doesn't have like another Cyclone or Typhoon, we're good to go. Alright. Plus, we actually have a negate from Navigation in Grave, I'm pretty sure, because he sent it to the grave last turn. I think it was during his turn he sent it. I then add this card to hand for some reason. God knows why I did that. Because of course he's just going to make me lose the card in hand and beat over it. That was very silly. We can just ignore that last part and pretend I'm actually good at this game. Alright, moving on. Alright, what do we got next? The DDD players. This is going to be showing, once again, the Kycoo in action. So I thought I was doomed for this game. I thought I was completely screwed. Because my hand does not have a way to get a hold of Circle, because it opened the damn Kycoo, who you just want to have in deck. So, normal summon this guy and pray he needs to use his graveyard to banish. Which thankfully, he probably didn't need to. He probably would have done something a lot better, but I don't think he realized Kycoo's effect. Because first thing he does is his fusion summon, summoning out his Genghis, which now is a negate for these cards. I probably should have used one before this thing was summoned so he couldn't negate or something. But thankfully, I'm pretty sure he was relying on this thing's effect, which could banish it to then spell summon a DD monster, which would trigger this thing's effect to bring something back. And I don't think he realized Kycoo was going to prevent that, so he actually had nothing else to do and passed. So once again, the win con relying on your opponent to not read cards. Alright, Navigation being summoned during my turn. Yeah, I definitely should have done this last turn, because then we would have had a thing in graveyard. Even if you negate it to stop this card. Alright, going for my Cerberus. So remove his monster, hit him in the face. Eternal Soul, beat over him. Tries to book a Moon Me, Lameo. Kycoo Gaming. I'm probably not even pronouncing the card's name correctly. I think it's Kycoo. I don't know how else it would pronounce. Alright, this was okay, this is another Kycoo replay actually. This guy was trying to play World Chalice. If you guys have been watching my my little series I've been doing on Master Duel, you guys will know a lot of what the World Chalice cards do. And thankfully, they like to banish from the graveyard quite often, so Kycoo is a perfect card for it. It's got a 3-card setup, and we've got the Kycoo Floodgate. Once again, hard drawing it, because I'm terrible at the game, but anyway. Alright, so I could have banished this thing, or banished this thing, so he didn't get his extra summon, but I know Chalice has so many just random-ass extendery cards, whether it be reviving from graveyard, or the unexpected die, or whatever else. I'm just like, no, I'm gonna wait until I absolutely have to use this thing's banish. Also, they have a card that protects their things from being targeted or something, so I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna wait as long as possible. Plus, I'm pretty sure this Kycoo is gonna be really irritating in a second. He summons his Priestess, summons his Dude, summons out his Blade Master, and you'll notice in his graveyard, he now has a copy of the... Actually, he hasn't got that yet, never mind. I got ahead of myself. Now he gets a copy of this, tributes himself to bring his Dude back, and from there, I think he was expecting to be able to use this card's effect to revive one of his Gnaw monsters from graveyard by banishing it, so then go into Dingirsu and do actual plays, but, or Ningirsu, whichever one it is, I get those two cards names mixed up all the time. But he could, so he had literally nothing he could do here. He could summon it out, but it would do actually nothing and just get banished, so he opts not to. And instead, I summon out my 2 dudes. Plus, his attack is on like 2300 anyway, so I can't even beat over the Dark Magician. Alright, getting a rod into circulation, going for a banish. He has another copy of this, which negates and destroys the targeting effect. Which is a bit annoying. But it's fine, so we got Apprentice Magician in hand. Boosting the attack, beating over him, and then banishing those 2 dudes from the graveyard. So he can't even do it on his next turn, even if a Kycoo was removed. Alright, and final game, which sadly isn't going to be the COG rank up, because the COG rank up was boring as shit. Speedroid. So I actually had 2 good-ish Speedroid games. I didn't save the other one because this one was better. I didn't want to show off 2 of the same sort of replay. But this replay was pretty damn good. This matchup actually isn't as bad as you would think. For a deck list that's like 6 years old versus a deck list that's like brand new. I guess this thing has been nerfed quite a bit, to be fair. This guy probably wasn't playing the most optimal version of the deck list. Piper for a draw 1. Already playing a different version than my list. Alright, summon out his Synchro Dragon. If you want to see an actual good version of Speedroid, by the way, post-ban list, I uploaded one like 2 days ago, so feel free to check that one out. Alright, going for his Crystalling. Summoning his double yo-yo, bringing back the dice, making the level 7, or the Hagodia apparently. And reviving the level 7 that way. I'm not sure why he did it in that order, but sure, good on him. Alright, Pot of Duality, looking the top 3, gonna be grabbing a card to hand. Of course, grabbing the Compulse, because it's brilliant in this matchup. For some reason, I decided to normal summon this and let it get negated. Let's not talk about this, okay? Absolutely, I'm so dumb. Yeah, moving on. Legit just completely mind-farted. I was like, oh yeah, these cards only negate high-level monsters, right? Not my magicians. Oh, shit. Anyway. Let him do his summons. I see this thing, and I want this thing off the field and banished, because this card is really annoying. Because if he uses this thing to bring back one of the dice and goes to like level 8 board nuke or something, even for some, I don't know why he would do that, because he'd be destroying his own cards. But if he did go for that, I'd have nothing left. So I'm like, yeah, we're just gonna get rid of this thing and make sure there's no funny business going on. He's already used the skill activation to get the dice back, so theoretically if we banish this, it should be gone for almost for good, the level 1 dice. And we're not scared of this one, because this thing we don't care about, so we just compulse this thing, get rid of it. And now that it's off the field, we can tribute, add this thing back to hand. Trade off these 2, and we're pretty good to go, unless our opponent has a good back row there. Compulse. Don't know why you'd compulse a Magician's Rod, but good on him, I guess. Alright guys, that's going to do it for today's replays. Hope you guys enjoyed them. If you don't leave a like, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. I'll probably post this deck list as well. It's going to be in the description, but I'll probably post this deck list on DLM as well. So if you want to see it on there, go check it out there and leave a comment or whatever you do on that website. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed, remember to leave a like, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. Hope to see you in the next one. Laters.
Hey, big brother, can I watch SpongeBob? Shut up, Mokuba. I'm busy flagging YouTube videos to compensate for the fact that I have an extremely small penis. Oh.